Hello, ladies and gents. How are we all doing? Are we good? So, thought we would. I thought we would just culminate and discuss the Batman, basically. Um, I'm aware not everyone's seen it. I'm aware some people don't care about watching it and having spoilers and stuff like that. I get that, and I get that some people do. But we will be talking about it sort of no holds barred. So there may be some spoilers. The likelihood is that there will be spoilers, of course. Like I put it in the title. So I just thought we literally just do a Batman live stream. All things are sort of going Batman really. There's a lot of tribalism going on, which is not a surprise. I'm not going to lie, and I do want to talk about that, I guess, before we really touch on the Batman as a film, because I think there are always films that do this. They become a real big point of contention because they become popular to slate on before they've even been released. Now, there are some which absolutely unequivocally deserve that hatred. The Batman's been an interesting one because all signs outside of people's personal thoughts on Robert Pattinson, all signs actually pointed it to being really, really decent. And it's been really weird, like people like just spreading bogus bollocks rumors of Robert Pattinson like fucking Zoe Kravitz on the Batmobile and all this just random weird nonsense. Like we can all agree that the Batman's had some weird rumors flung out about it, right? There was apparently directors that knew other people that potentially saw that Robert Pattinson wasn't particularly happy, and it's like, well, that just sounds like a bunch of bloody hearsay nonsense, doesn't it? And now when it comes out, people are like, yep, sequels, HBO spin-offs, sequels, everything, cool, no worries. And so it kind of sort of massages away delegitimizes any of those rumors anyway. He uses no martial arts and legit throws only right hands. What's wrong with that? Do you want to see Batman doing judo chops? Whacha! I wouldn't want to see Batman doing karate chops or judo chops. That'd be shit. I quite like the fact that he was being brutal, to be fair. Yeah, what's wrong with him using no martial arts? Why is that being a huge letdown? That's a really odd thing to critique it about. He didn't use any martial arts. So? Okay. Like what? Does it matter? You never really... I mean, you didn't... What constitutes martial arts? He was still kicking people, taking them down. That would have been a form of martial arts to some degree. I mean, the fight with Catwoman was pretty legit. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see any of the other Batman movies, them doing karate chops and stuff. That seems like a really odd... Hopefully you hate all the other Batman movies, because I never saw Batman doing any karate ninja chops in any of the others. That's really odd. Like, I get it, but the other Batman movies never had him performing legit, actual... Not something you'd consider to be recognisable martial arts. I mean, he throws people around like he'd be doing some level of judo to some degree. The martial arts. Odd. I sort of get it, but I also sort of don't, to be fair. Yeah. So Big Brother says, hi, Mr. H. I wonder if the bad rumours about this film was just a distraction created by the production team. No, it wasn't. It was just YouTubers talking bollocks because they were getting clicks. That was literally all it was. So when all those nonsense rumours were coming out, I was doing videos debunking them because I had a friend working on the film, legitimately actually working on it. Do you remember when people were like, it's about to shut down? The film's going to shut down production. It's going to shut down again. There's loads of problems. And I came out and was like, no, it's not. It's got one more week in Liverpool, and then it's going up to studios there. And then what happened? They had one more week in Liverpool, and then they went off to fucking studios. It's just nonsense rumours created by just YouTubers because they got lots of clicks, hundreds of thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views. It was just nonsense. Literally made up bollocks. Yeah, like actual bollocks. Don't you think that the Joker is starting to be a bit overused now? As overused as the Batman, as Mr. L says, I think, to be fair. Yeah. As overused as the Batman would be. It's dependent on the execution, isn't it? We've not seen this Joker yet. We've not seen him. So I think all criticisms of the Joker right now are not really valid because we've not seen him. We don't know how they plan to execute him in a movie. I think it would be a bit disingenuous to be like, yep, there you go. I think, a bit jumping the gun on the critique of that one, personally. Have I seen how he fights in the games? It's not a game, mate. It's movies. If you're comparing a movie to a game, you're barking up the wrong tree. Like, unless it's an adaptation of a video game. It's Batman, You can't really compare him to the games. And he did do some martial arts. Like, he did throw people around pretty well. Again, the fight with Catwoman, I would say, indicates, a certain level of martial arts, I would say, personally. Tom Working says, combat is contextual, martial arts, meh. Most baseline fighting is grappling and grunting, nothing fun. Yeah, you're completely right. Absolutely, completely right. You wouldn't really get along, you wouldn't really get a great deal of time to get a lot of martial arts in an actual fight. Maybe proficiently, but yeah. Eric A says, Mr. H, do you like the Batman better than any of the Christopher Nolan films? Yeah, I do, actually. Like, I do. This film, to me, was everything I wanted it to be. It's perfect. It's not a perfect film, right? Like, there is no such thing as a perfect film. But I love this film from start to finish. The pacing was absolutely brilliant. Pacing was great. I didn't feel the 3 hours in any way, shape, or form at all. Lil Sweetlin says, Midnight Sage actually called Pattinson Edward Sparkle Pants. What the fuck is his deal with him? So I assume you're talking about Tom Connors, which I sort of, I really like Tom and I like Midnight Sage, but a load of people are like, well, you wanted to hate it, Tom. You wanted to hate it, Midnight Sage. And I jumped in on a Twitter thread earlier by saying it's pretty, I can understand why people think you wanted to hate it because you spread bogus rumours and you've been nothing but negative about the film in every single video you've made for the film. And then it comes out and then you're shitting on it. It does preload that thought that you want to hate it. It's a bit different if you're not talking about, rumours, right? Like, the rumours, I literally messaged Andre, was like, I can debunk this rumour, mate. But they chose to still run with those kind of rumours. So it's a bit different if, if you're running with rumours that seem to be pretty widespread and, like actually legit. But those rumours weren't anywhere close to being legit. Like Gary Tunnicliffe jumped on there and was like, well, I heard from my friend that they heard that it wasn't going so well. It's like, fucking look at the end product, mate. That was a well-oiled machine. And they're talking about sequels. They've already invested heavily into HBO Max spin-offs. Like, it was a massive success. There is no concern on the set of that film that anyone could really talk about. And then Doomcock were making videos about bloody Robert Pattinson fucking Zoe Kravitz on the Batmobile and getting her pregnant. Like, what is this? EastEnders? Like, how fucking childish do we have to be just to hate on a film? Like, that's a bit weird, Like, those level of rumours were, are a bit much. And, I talked to Andre and I was like, look, Andre, mate, like, I literally have someone working on this film that can tell me what you're hearing's bollocks. So like I said, they seem to have been, and I'm not saying they were, FYI, but I jumped in on a Twitter thread where Tom was sort of trying to defend himself, and I was like, look, mate, I can see why people think you wanted to hate it from the start. Like, it does look that way. So yeah, like just, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? Anyway, let's get to some of these super chats. Sorry, ladies and gents. John Lemley dropped in with 1999 and says, I've been watching your channel for some time, but only just recently subscribed. Wonder how much, if at all, this movie's reception, as well as the money it'll make, might get Warner to raise their standards for DC adaptations. That is well, one, thank you so much for choosing to subscribe. It does help out. Hopefully you'll get notified of videos from now on. So thank you, and thank you for the super chat, dude. But that's actually a really interesting question, isn't it, right? Now, I would say, potentially, and it's not 100% clear cut, like, because the Batman was still sort of floating around. But I would say that the Joker was definitely a catalyst for some of this level of production to be put into play. It's undoubtedly that the Joker, the film The Joker, would have given Warner Brothers some level of, optimism and confidence in a film like this for the Batman. Now, will that translate to Warner Brothers raising standards for the other DC properties? You know what? Probably not, mate. Because they're tied into that sort of universe and that style. And unless they really rip it away, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. And I think what'll really show up to be a really glaring comparison is that you've got that Batgirl movie dropping on HBO Max at some point, and I think that's going to look fucking terrible by comparison. Can you imagine a Bat property having to follow the Batman? It's going to look really, really bad. It's going to look embarrassing. But I also, like I said, I think your question's a great one, but I don't think Warner Brothers is able to get away from that universe yet until they just wipe it completely clean. But I think what they're doing with the Batverse is really smart, just trundling along. Yeah, Colin Farrell Penguin would do that as a series. Yeah, GCPD would do that as a series. Yeah, definitely we'll do a sequel to the Batman. I think that's very smart. It works really well. Mr. Dorks drops in, says, thanks, bro. I'm going to see it tonight in Uxbridge. Spoilers don't bother me. I mostly agree with all your reviews. Thanks, Mr. H. Well, thank you. Thank you for dropping in as well. I think you'll really enjoy it, mate. I think you'll really enjoy it. Get yourself a big bag of popcorn, though. You'll need it. It's quite a long film. Extra large popcorn. They do extra large popcorn at my movie theatre. It's just small, medium, or large. I got the large one. I'm like, what is this? Like, who's this made for? Like, this is a snack. It's going to be gone. So, I mean, it is considered a snack. Popcorn is a snack. I wanted a meal-sized popcorn. All right, my big lad. I wanted a meal-sized popcorn. I was like, this is crap. Get me a meal-sized popcorn. But you'll enjoy it, dude. Just get a large popcorn. Mr. L says, love that Batman can't be everywhere at once, but uses the paranoia of him being possibly anywhere at any time was cool. Yeah, man, that was great. So that was in the intro, wasn't it? When he's like, I've been doing this for, a year now. And, they think, I've got to choose my targets wisely, he was saying. This is the start of the film where he's like, I've got to choose my targets wisely. I can't be everywhere. But they think I am. The helicopter flies over. They look up in the sky. They see the bat symbol, so they know he's out. They hear something. They look in a shadow, and then they run away. That was great. But that is what it is, right? Like, that is the Batman. Like, that's real world. That would be a real world impact. I really like that a lot. Night King dropped in, says that line that Catwoman gives in the middle of the film, it was forced, but some people are taking it really extreme, like not seeing the movie over it. So look, let's address that line, right? Like, that line definitely was forced. It took me out of the movie for like 10 seconds, and then it was fine. It is an inconsequential line. She says, no one cares. I can't even remember. This is what I mean. It's such an inconsequential line. I can't fucking remember what it actually was. But she says, something, white privileged assholes, something, right? That's literally all she says. And people are like, it's fucking woke. I'm not going to fucking see this movie. Oh my God. Calm down. Get the sand out your fucking vagina, you absolute wet wipe. It is an inconsequential line in a 3-hour movie where every single other bit of dialogue is actually expertly crafted. Now, make no mistake, that dialogue would either be a mandate from a studio executive that's got an investment in it, right? It's not from Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves doesn't, like, we've got a whole host of movies from Matt Reeves to talk about where he doesn't do stuff like that. Or it was from the other writer, because there was someone else that wrote the Batman with Matt Reeves. But people are like, all right, that's it. Whole movie's fucking ruined. All right, mate. If you pour too much salt on one bit of your meal, is the whole meal ruined? Of course it's not, you fucking idiot. Like, it would be different if that line actually pertained to the rest of the movie. And I think what's sad about it, right? I think what's sad about it is everyone's going, right, all of the bad guys are white. Okay, so it's Gotham City. When I watched Batman the Animated Series, I didn't see a whole bunch of black mobsters. They were mainly white. When I look at the comics, they were mainly white. If they were mainly black, would you then claim it's woke because of overrepresentation? Like, I don't get where you want to... Where's the gripe with that? They're like, there was only 2 good white guys. Really? So white people were overrepresented in the film, apparently, according to some people. Therefore, they have a higher chance of being evil in the film because they're overrepresented in Gotham City. Is that what you're saying? Do you understand the mental gymnastics you have to do to use that as, you know, as a bludgeon to say the film's woke? It's really quite dumb. Like, it's really dumb of you to say that is the reason why the film's woke. Super dumb. Spirit Scar. Shut up. Yes, but they also changed Commissioner Gordon from white to black. And he's a great actor. He works. It's really good. Have you seen it? No? Okay. He doesn't say, I'm a black man. They don't say anything about the fact that he's black. The fact that he's black's actually inconsequential. You do realise that, right? Like, it'd be different if they did it and they then lumbered something else into the film. It's inconsequential that he's black. He's a good actor. Again, it'd be different if they hired a shit actor and then did the race swap, right? That's different. Again, that matters. Like, it does matter. John Lemley says, while it wouldn't fit in with this universe at all, hopefully, if the spin-off shows go well, Warner Brothers will pursue Batman Beyond somehow. They tried a Rocksteady game. They have to have seen Holland Spider-Man, I think. Make money borrowing from it. Is that... No, Holland SM? What's Holland SM? Yeah, I mean... Yeah, Batman Beyond's a great... That was really, really good. I used to really like Batman Beyond with Terry McGinnis. Fantastic. Really, really good. I would highly rate a Batman Beyond movie. That'd be good. Or even like a series, like a live action series. Might not do it justice, to be fair. I'm being disingenuous. No, I'm not. You haven't actually... you haven't actually debunked anything I've said, dipshit. Don't call me disingenuous, you fucking moron. Like, at least debunk what I'm saying. Or is you just going to piss me off? Like, you can't call someone disingenuous but then not back up your claim. How am I being disingenuous? How? An inconsequential line that has no bearing on the rest of the movie? How is that disingenuous? It doesn't. You've obviously not seen the film either, right? You need to remember that. You're coming from a place of complete ignorance, and that's really disingenuous. I'm telling you from a position of someone that has actually seen the film. The line comes out of... And anyone that's seen it will be like, yeah, that line came really left field and took me out of the movie. That's what everyone says because it's not part of the movie. Right? That's universally stated by anyone that's brought it up. So now don't you be disingenuous, you little fuck nugget. Alright? Everyone says it took them out of the movie for a reason because it's completely left field. So obviously it doesn't pertain to anything in the film. Literally nothing at all. It has no bearing on the rest of the film. But I'm being disingenuous. Right, okay, sure. Sure, mate. At least back up why I'm being disingenuous. Here we go. If it was inconsequential, why did the filmmakers make that casting choice? Casting choice of what? We have had a black Catwoman before, you idiot. Come on, you're a Batman fan, right? You must have seen we've had black Catwoman before, right? You know that, right? Like a 60-year precedent for it. You're an avid Batman fan. You must know this. God. Idiot. Oh. Witness This 1000 says, how can a white person be insecure in this world about some comic book characters becoming a different race? It's different. Like, the thing is that if you're talking about, like Jeffrey Wright being cast as Gordon, right? He's a really good actor. It's always different if you swap someone out for an actor that's dog shit and a different race, then yeah, like it matters. You're just doing it for reasons. But he's a really good actor, and he's a really good Jim Gordon in this. Really, really good, actually. Like, very, very, very good. And the way he bounces off of Robert Pattinson, it works really, really well. Really, really well. Model T101 says, the line wasn't out of place. Bruce even looks at her differently. Every rotten person was rich. He doesn't look at her differently. What? Every rotten person was rich? The Riddler wasn't rich. What are you talking about? It's corruption. I'm not going to lie. I do feel the mental gymnastics you're having to go to justify this is really quite high. Every rotten person was rich because the whole movie's based around corruption. So that, of course they're rich, yeah. They're talking about rich and power corrupting. That makes sense. That works. Bruce looked at her differently because if you didn't notice, she was working as a waitress, dealing drops. So he wasn't best pleased about that. He saw the boots that Annika was wearing on her, so he looked at her differently for that. How did he look at her differently outside of that? Also, he kissed her, clearly wanted to fuck her. How was he looking at her differently? Aside from probably wanting a boner. What? What was he looking at her like? Oh, poor little black girl. Oh, but then wants to fuck her as well? Really? No. That's not how it was. So strange. So weird. I don't understand it. Like, where do you go when you watch the movie? What's in your head when you watch a movie? Because I go genuinely open-minded. I know I talk smack about movies, but I will always say when I'm wrong. Like, I've said it in reviews before. I've gone, yeah, I was wrong about this. Like, hold my hand up, yeah. Yeah, it was good. Or, no, I was completely right. Yeah, it was garbage. So, very strange. Squiggy Z says, I love the film, but my dream would have a Rob Zombie directed Arkham Asylum. I don't know whether that would work. A Rob Zombie directed Arkham Asylum film. Imagine the insanity. I think that might be a bit too much insanity. A Rob Zombie Arkham Asylum movie. That could go one of two ways, couldn't it, mate? It could be really good or absolutely atrocious. Genuinely. One of two ways. Really good or real bad. Kevbot says, they voted a black female mayor. What's wrong with that? Also, I hope they show some restraint with Joker in the future films. Just like in the Long Halloween story, he had his place, but didn't steal the show. Hoping Matt sticks with Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze would be great. Very, very good villain to explore. And also has a lot of strength of conviction, but is also, like, you can humanize Mr. Freeze because of his love interest. That would work really well. Corey Smith says, I asked you this before, and I'm going to ask you again. Was there any post-credit scenes? No, there wasn't. There's like a pre-credit scene. And was there any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle references? No, don't think so. Tom Working, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Night King. Night King says, what made me laugh is that the line is clearly put in after the fact because they are fighting the mafia who are Italian, aka white. Makes no sense. Yeah, well, they're talking about white, like politically white and politically black. That's kind of what they're talking about in the movie, I think. But they're not even talking about that. Like, it is inconsequential. Like, it's a really inconsequential line that everyone's like, oh, so woke. Fucking get the sand out your pussy. Honestly. God, you got a bigger pussy than Catwoman. Ellie Moses says, much love, Brother H. To be honest, I didn't pay that much attention to the line because every frame in the film had me amazed. Beautifully shot, sound design. Yeah, the thing about this film is literally every frame could be a poster. It is expertly shot. From a technical perspective, it's beautiful. Like, it's a masterpiece of a film from a framing perspective. The lighting was immense. Like, it's really, really well done. Jason Benjamin says, loved it. More of an Affleck fan as far as the role, but Pattinson was good. Just love the grittiness of this film. Can't wait to see the follow-up. Yeah, man. That's interesting, isn't it? To come from, you know, a Ben Affleck fan to say that. Yeah, that's nice. It's good to get the it's good to get the sort of polarizing opinions on that from someone who's obviously primed not actually to like it. So I think that's yeah, that's interesting, man. That's yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and thanks for dropping in with the super chat too. Can we hit that thumbs up button, please, ladies and gents? Nell Genevieve, I think, says the line came from a black woman in a tragic situation who just lost a friend to a white male guy. She'd say that as a character, total non-issue. Yeah, I can see that as well. Like I can that as a justification for it. I can see that. 100% can see that. Absolutely. What's this? Marshmallow drops in and says, gonna go watch it tomorrow with a mate. There's a Frankie and Benny's next to the cinema, so hoping to munch on some buffalo wings. Very nice, dude. Very, very nice. Kevbot says, I meant as in those complaining about white people shouldn't because there were black characters, Jim and the mayor. Yeah, no, the thing is, people are complaining that there wasn't enough good white people in the movie. That is legitimately a complaint from people. Yep, that's the world we live in right now. That is the world we live in. People are complaining that in Gotham City, there's not enough good white people. Alright. Fuck's sake. Oh my god. Mr. L says, it's honestly just one bad woke line. Doesn't mean the entire movie is woke. Pretty sure they shoved it in just to appeal to a modern demographic. I completely agree. It feels so shoehorned in. I do like Nell's example of it here, though, saying that, you know, it comes from a black woman in a tragic situation who just lost a friend to a white male guy. That as an explanation does kind of work, actually. I don't mind that explanation at all. Yeah. So, let's also talk about some of the Easter eggs, right? Like, a lot of people, I've put possible spoilers, so we are talking about spoilers, right? So, the Joker scene at the end. I don't really understand why anyone, like, why they, I mean, I understand why they kept denying it, but it sounds like there was an earlier scene, so when Batman goes to see the Riddler in Arkham Asylum, it does sound like he would have come across the Joker again, and then we see Joker at the end. What did anyone think of Barry Keoghan's Joker? Like, what did anyone think of it? Good or bad? Because I tell you what, I quite liked it. Like, if you looked at the face, it looks like his whole cheeks have been cut open and you can see his teeth. That's what it looks like. And he's got sort of mangled up, frizzy hair, which I don't know about the hair. The laugh was quite good, very hyena-like. Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent, actually. You know, we'll have to actually see him in motion, but to catch a little bit of that mouth open on the side, just in the silhouette of the light, I thought was really, really good. And that goes us, you know, segues nicely off to the next part of this, is the villain in the movie, the Riddler. What a staggering achievement from Paul Dano. He was mesmerizingly, psychotically brutal in this film. The first scene where he just pops up and he's just there behind the mayor. Bush! Bludgeons it. The fact that he just stood there silently for like a good couple of minutes whilst the mayor's on the phone watching the debate that he had with the mayoral candidate that was running up against him. I couldn't believe that. I kept thinking he's gonna see him, and then he hangs up the phone, and then he bangs him over the fucking head. Wow, it was really brutal. But it also shows how inexperienced he was, because he's confident, but he's inexperienced. Bangs him over the head, loses the weapon, has to go and get it again, and continues to beat him, and then duct tape him up. Wow. And we'd heard the Riddler's voice in the trailers. And it's that inflection when he says violence, that the sort of anger, the spitting of the words. Wow. And it wasn't just the mask, because when he was in Arkham Asylum, I think like it worked really well having just his sort of well, it's a level of control, isn't it, over his voice, the sort of projection and the sort of, well, it's the control that he has, because when he's shouting no at the Batman, wow, that was amazing. It was really, really, really good. December Black says, sup my guy, gonna see the movie tonight in Stoked. Only complaint is that Riddler looks like the Zodiac Killer, Father Fondles type guy with the mask, but I get the grittiness and change. You won't in the movie, you'll like it. I promise you'll really like it in the movie. It works. In the movie, it works. Night King 01 says, I enjoyed the movie. One thing that buggered me is that Riddler doesn't really act like Riddler, more like Anarchy mixed with Riddler. I do think it works in the context of the movie. I think it really does work. Again, another massive complaint that people have been having is like, and then they did like a January 6th riot situation at the end with all the people wanting to kill everyone. I'm like, no offense to Americans, but that reference was not in the movie, and it also shows how fucking dense and myopic you are of the world. The next scene after that whole big crescendo, that final act is done, and Batman survives and he saves the day, he writes in his journal again, and he goes, November 6th, the city, blah blah blah. Do you know what happened in the UK on the 5th of November? Remember the 5th of November? Guy Fawkes, V for Vendetta, the blowing up of Parliament, the plot to destroy the government. That is what Riddler was doing in America on the fucking 5th of November. Really smart. And it just went whoosh over everyone's heads because they were like, oh, it's a reference to January 6th. Shut up, you wet wipes. Shut up. Get out your box. Look at the wider world, the wider political stance. And this is what I mean by every line in the film had purpose. He said November 6th for a reason. Because on November 5th night, what did Riddler plan to do? He blew up the seawalls, all surrounding Gotham City. And then he planned to take down the government by literal shooting in Gotham Square Gardens. That is Guy Fawkes level taking down the government shit. Really smart. And not a lot of people picked up on that because, again, myopic worldview, just sitting in your tiny little box. But really, really smart. Really, really, really smart. And this is why it pays to go look at a history book. Because you'd appreciate that a little bit more. Rhino says, I didn't even notice the November 6th part when I saw it. Honestly, I really liked that. When I heard it, I was like, fucking yes. November 6th. Brilliant. Yes. One Shot says, I can't believe Warner Brothers allowed Matt to make this. Please allow Matt to continue this story with not only shows, it's more movies. So good. Yeah. Well, I mean, they are, aren't they? They're definitely making more movies, 100%. And Mr. L says, interesting to see that the Riddler in this film was inspired by Batman. I thought it was so interesting about this is he literally thought he was working with the Batman. He's so messed up in the head. He genuinely thought he was working with the Batman. He was writing to the Batman, and he was making the Batman do the things that he wanted him to do. It was all orchestrated, and it shows a real smart ass that the Riddler was to orchestrate all of these. It was a master plan that he'd orchestrated. I couldn't do any of this. I'm not a physical man. Blah 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 blah. And then when he realizes, when Batman rejects him, because he genuinely thought the Batman was working with him, right? Because you see it. You can see it when the Batman rejects him and he says, no, you're just a freak. You're going to die in here. You're a freak. No, nothing like you. And you can see the upset on the Riddler's face. No, 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 no. Like, he genuinely thought the Batman was working with him. I thought it was a really, really clever take. Really smart. And adds to now the unstable nature of the Riddler moving forwards. Because if they ever do another one with the Riddler coming out of the woodwork again, like that is a very seriously planted vendetta that the Riddler will have against the Batman at that point. He's got a real reason to hate the Batman. Danny D says, what a movie. Framed perfect. A perfect money shot. Yeah, real perfect. Fantastic movie. John Lemley says, guessing ahead, but could see Arkham having an incident at the end of the next movie. Show a little more of Joker there to set him up. And they could also do an ESB ending where Batman takes an L somehow. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would agree with that. Split Finger says, you're expecting Americans to learn history beyond their borders. I know, silly me. Night King says, the movie was written and shot before January 6th. Yeah, I know, but this is the thing. But that is genuinely one of the complaints that people keep making. Like, 100% that is one of the complaints people are making. They're like, oh, that January 6th ending. Shut. It's like, seriously, you make yourself look like an idiot. No one else is looking stupid. Like, you're making yourself look really dumb by saying that. So stupid. Especially in the dialogue when he says November 6th. You're like, yeah, fucking 5th of November. There you go. Guy Fawkes. And the thing is, like, if I said to the Americans, what about V for Vendetta? They go, oh, yeah, I know that. You go, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, it's based on Guy Fawkes, for goodness sake. It's even in that movie. Like, Jesus. How would you not know this? Dear oh dear. It's not a woke movie. Literally nothing woke about it. Figgendorf. Yes, this is live. Of course it's live. It literally says live. You can see it's live. Why would you ask if it's live? It's such a good movie. So I think the other things to talk about predominantly, my brand new favourite Batmobile. Side note, ladies and gents, if anyone wants to send me a model of the Batmobile, I've got a Hot Wheels. If anyone wants to send me a big model of the Batmobile, please do. PO Box is actually open today. I should probably post that, actually. In fact, let me post it in the video now. Fuck, I can't. That Batmobile was amazing. Absolutely amazing. So let me have a look. The Batmobile was great. Oh, I can't edit these, can I? Damn. Damn. Let me have a look. That Batmobile was so good. It was so good. My favourite Batmobile, actually. My new favourite Batmobile. Like, when you first see it, that is Christine. That is Christine vibes. Who got Christine vibes in that sequence? Just the noise that it made as well. Oh, the noise! So good. So good. The noise, the look of terror on the Penguin's face as well. Like, he was genuinely scared. He was genuinely scared of that. You could see it. He was terrified. Anyway, there you go. Brand new PO Box is linked in the Linked in the description box. The terror on his face. And it wasn't like there was like two engines there. There was one in the back. There was clearly one in the front. There was just flames everywhere. There was exhaust everywhere. Oh, it was amazing. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. And that whole car chase was great. It's not Fast and Furious nonsense. None of that garbage. Not all garbage, but most of it's garbage. That was a car chase. That was as realistic a car chase as you can get with a car that's bloody armored. It's about as realistic as you could get. Obviously, it's not super realistic. It's about as realistic as it was so good. I was fit to bust a nut in the cinema there. Fucking, my pants were going to be wet, just drenched. Not that you need any of this imagery in your mind. I don't care. As a very clear car fan, with my Datsun sign, and that's a light, by the way, and Datsun shit, and loads of Datsun stuff. I love my cars. That was great. That was what a Batmobile should be. That was a character. The Batmobile was a character in this movie. It was a character. And that's what you want the Batmobile to be. So good. Pisses all over the Tumbler. Bloody Christopher Nolan's Tumbler. What's that? It's a bloody monster truck. Go away. Don't care. Not interested. This one, love it. Yes. Absolutely loved it. It was so good. So good. Jason Benjamin says, if I can have one complaint is that the Riddler didn't remind me of the Riddler, if that makes sense. That twin turbo V10 Batmobile was fire. It was great. Yeah, I think I you know what I really liked about that car chase scene as well was just Penguin having fun. He was having a blast. He was like, this guy's crazy. But he was laughing about it until the shit hits the fan and then the Batmobile comes through the flames and he knows he's actually screwed. Up until that point, Penguin, Oswald Cobblepot, was having an absolute blast. He was like, I've got you. This guy's crazy. He was loving it. He was giggling around, you know. He was having a real good time. You would. It's good to be bad, right? Like that's, you know, the phrase villains have good fun and all that kind of crap. He was having a great, it was so good. And then shit hits the fan. So good the way, you know, because it's in the trailer where he flips the Penguin's Maserati, actually. That's what it is. It's a wide-bodied Maserati. It looks like it's got wide arches anyway. And it flips and it flips and it flips. And then it lands. And then he's just looking. And then you just see the Batman just stroll on over. And then he just bends down and has a look like this. You're like, what are you doing? Oh, it's so good. Loved it. Phil McCracken says, I loved Bruce's narration. It felt like a live-action version of an issue of Detective Comics. I really like that noir stuff, actually. I genuinely really liked the... it reminded me of Rorschach from The Watchmen. And there was a line, actually, in the movie, which I think was very... I think it was a line which was also in The Watchmen, where he says the city's a powder keg and something's the match. That is a line from The Watchmen, isn't it? I swear that's a line from The Watchmen. But it worked. Like, yeah. And Nirvana's Something in the Way, that worked really well. And loads of people are like, oh, it's emo Batman. Who cares? He's donning a bat costume because his parents were murdered. Yeah, he's pretty emo. Like, he is pretty emo, yeah. I don't like the weird complaints that people have for this movie. What do you want him to be? Running around smiling? What do you want him to be? Like, even Batman the Animated Series, he doesn't really smile. Like, have you never seen Batman smile? Like, it's weird. You Google a picture, Batman smiling. It's really weird. Looks super dumb. The Batmobile and the costume are two things that put me off watching the movie. Really don't like either. That is surprising, man. But if you've not seen it, because you said it put you off watching the movie, I mean, the Batmobile's amazing in the movie. So you should, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Riddler doesn't know who Batman is, but as he said himself, unmasking Batman isn't the point of his crusade. Yeah, I really like that twist, because all the trailers framed it as the Riddler knew who Batman was. And I really like that twist, actually. I thought that twist was really, really good. That twist was great. You know, he wanted to get Bruce Wayne. He did actually want to get Bruce Wayne. He wasn't, you know, he wasn't trying to get, he didn't know the Batman was Bruce Wayne. I like that twist a lot. Yeah, I really, really liked that. And speaking of the costume, I thought the costume was great. I thought it really worked, actually. In action, it really worked. One, not criticism, but observation. Batman does walk really slowly. Methodically, I guess would be the word. He's very pacey. Very slow. Very lumbered. Did anyone else get that vibe? Quite slow, steady pacing with it? It's just an observation, not a critique. I thought it was really good. It added weight to the sort of prowess of Batman, I thought. Yeah, Nirvana is grunge, not emo. You're completely right, Wallace, my dude. The other side of it, what I thought was really good, is that the bat symbol is a knife. It's a tactical blade, which he uses in 2 scenes. So it's not, it's not made from the guns, which was a shame because that would have been cool if it was. But it was absolutely, it was from. It's a knife which he uses to cut open crime scene, and then he uses to cut the electrical wire at the end of the film, which is a really good scene. Going back to the finale, because we're talking about it a little bit there, it's in the trailer, and I said it in my review. One of the things I really appreciated about this was that fight sequence where he's hitting the gut, where he's hitting the Riddler's acolytes with a gun, and he's smacking them, smack, 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 and then he turns to face the camera. It is not a superhero moment. It is not framed as he's just looking at the camera. Like, if you were to look at any other superhero movie, that would be actually the end of the frame. It would be, yeah, cool stunt, and then he looks at the camera. That's badass, right? Yeah, cool stunt, looks at the camera, because he's looking at a fucking Riddler thing on the floor. And then it's shot, reverse shot. So we look at him, he's looking at the camera, reverse shot, looking at what he's looking at, which is actually on the floor. Really good. Much better way to include it, right? You're talking about shots with purpose. That is a shot with purpose. So from a cinematic, from a technical filmmaking perspective, that's already, that is fantastically done. Much, much better than most of the other superhero movies that have come out, where they just go, yeah, superhero shot. Just having it actually have a purpose. You know, make it cool, but with a reason behind it. You know? Because otherwise, like, how many times you just roll your bloody eyes at things? You're like, oh, fucking course you're doing that. Oh, yeah, of course you're doing that. You know, yeah, it can look cool, but like have a reason for it. It worked really well. And also the other thing is, what I thought was definitely a Venom tease. Anyone else think that? Someone jumped in my comments and was like, no, it's a, it's just, it's just adrenaline. I'm like, it's green. That is absolutely Venom. And he was angry. He was pissed. To the point where he was losing control. Venom. That had to be Venom, right? What I mean by Venom, if you don't know comics, Bane, Venom, toxic sort of steroid substance, makes him absolutely ginormous. That, to me, seemed like Venom. I could be wrong, but it seemed like it, because he took that shot, to make sure he got up, and then he beat the living fucking shit out of that Riddler guy. He really went ham on it. To me, that was absolutely unequivocally a Venom tease. But someone was like, no, it's just adrenaline. I'm like, no, it had to be Venom. Why would it be green otherwise? Maybe it'll be Venom, but it'll be an offshoot, like a peptide version of adrenaline in some form. I don't know. But it was green. To me, it was very clearly a Venom reference. Yeah, love that. Like, because he went ham. Like, they had to pull him off the Riddler guy. They had literally had to pull Batman away from beating the crap out of this guy. Like, it seemed pretty obvious that anyway, it seemed like it was Venom to me. Yeah, someone said, sorry, did Batman have batarangs? No, he didn't, no. Someone said about the flare. Where was it? Because it was a good comment. Joseph Van Wyck says, how epic was that flare scene? Beautiful shots and symbolism. It was really good. That was really, really good. Yeah, beautifully shot. Beautifully shot. Really, really nice. Really, really good. And I tell you what, that was actually in one of the trailers. Couldn't tell shit from the trailer though, could you? All those trailers were very well put together. Very, very well put together, actually. They did enough for those trailers. Yeah. How would you rank the different incarnations of the Batmobile? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really. I wouldn't want to rank them. I just know what my favourite one is, and that is, yeah, that is my favourite one. That was absolutely my favourite one. God damn, it was amazing. Loved it. Loved it. Mr. Freeze or Joker for a Batman sequel. So yeah, so that it seems it's interesting. It seems that they were sort of teasing the Joker, but then of course in interviews, Matt Reeves is talking about Mr. Freeze, and you can definitely do Mr. Freeze in this world. You can 100% do Mr. Freeze in this world. It'll be interesting to see how far they go with the Joker. As to, I guess, really how far they're planning to go into the comic book versions of these characters. Because the Penguin was really well done. Fantastically acted from Colin Farrell. Just expertly done. Great. Really, really good. It's interesting that they've already removed Maroni and Falcone from the board. The two big mob bosses in Gotham City. Maroni had a drug bust, so he could come out of prison. There was a Hush Easter egg. The journalist was someone Elliot, and they paid him hush money. So maybe he left an orphan, or who knows? I don't know. But that was definitely a Hush reference. I mean, it was a Hush reference. Someone Elliot. I did think what was interesting was the having Martha Wayne be Martha Arkham pre-marriage. That was interesting. Saying that basically the Arkhams and the Waynes were the founding fathers of Gotham City. Quite liked it. Actually. Didn't hate that at all. I did think I was a bit like, oh, that's interesting. Why are they doing that? But I didn't hate that at all. Not bad. Donovan says, I get not wanting to use the Joker too much, but I'm not sure they wouldn't screw up the tech of Mr. Freeze. That's my biggest worry, because I know they've done it before. Looking at this movie, I don't think they would go balls to the wall, Like, there is some very futuristic tech in this movie, but it's, again, a good reference point is Batman the Animated Series. Like, it really is. Like, Batman the Animated Series and this movie line up pretty well. Like, actually, contact lenses that record everything that Batman's seeing on a night out. I mean, that's pretty futuristic tech, isn't it? I don't think that exists right now. Does it exist? I don't think it does. Contact lenses that record everything. Maybe it does. I don't fucking know. But to me, that seemed like really futuristic tech, but it was done in a way that you're looking at it going, oh yeah, that's quite believable. I liked that. I thought that really worked, actually. But yeah, so I think, like, if they were to do Mr. Freeze, I think that they could do the tech I think they could do the tech. I think that would work. I think they could do that. Again, I could be wrong, but I think that they could. What they've shown in this movie is a pretty wide array of stuff. They've got grappling guns. They've got Batman grappling guns. That worked really well. Bloody Dashboard says, some of the elements reminded me of the first two Batman Earth 1 books. Interesting. The contact lenses were probably the most fantastical technology in the movie. Yeah, they were. I would say so. I don't think there was much more past that was like pretty up there with it. Imagine if they used Joaquin Phoenix in that cell room. I wouldn't like that. I don't think that would work. I don't think that would work. Like, Joaquin Phoenix works in that world. I don't think it would work in this world. I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't think it would. How would they keep Freeze grounded in reality? Well, you still have him as a doctor called, Mr. Victor Freeze, isn't it? But he doesn't have to do, he could perform in murders where he's doing, like cryogenic murders or something like that. I don't know. Operating on people, trying to save his wife, his lover. I don't know. I honestly don't know. There's definitely a way to do it. You made the Riddler grounded. A guy who's, generally speaking, prancing around in fucking tight lycra and a top hat with a cane. So they would have to pull him away from his comic book a little bit more, similar to what they did with the Riddler, but it could work. Marshmallow, peace out, my dude. How was the car chase? The car chase was amazing. Shaky Jake, loved the car chase. That was really, really, really good. Loved the car chase, absolutely fantastic. Oh, the interesting Split Finger says I wasn't a fan of the design of Inside Wayne Manor. I really liked that. I think again, like I go back to Batman the Animated Series. I think that was pretty close to, that sort of Art Deco retro future sort of vibe, like sort of opulence. I really liked it, and especially in the Penguin's 44 Below, that room with the circles and the very stylistic approach. To me, that reminded me very much of Batman the Animated Series. It really did. I really liked it, actually. Odin's Beard says, just got him from seeing it. What a film. I'm still buzzing. Yes, good. I'm glad you liked it. The design in Wayne Manor wasn't what I was expecting, but I liked it. Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting. There wasn't much to see of the Wayne Manor, like 3 to 4 rooms shown in the movie. I don't even think it was that, was it? Like, he was at that table a few times. That was the same room where he pushed the table to one side and scrawled on the floor. That was one room. And then there was just the sub-basement. That's 2. And then maybe one more. Maybe 3 to 4. Yeah, you're probably right, to be fair. I heard this one was an ode to comic fans. Would it matter if I know nothing about the comics? No, I don't think so at all. You can definitely just go watch that. Al Humphrey says, I did have a question about Alfred, Mr. H, but it would be a massive spoiler, so I'll save it for another time. No, you can say it, dude. We've got spoilers. I've been talking about spoilers. We talk about Joker at the end. So, yeah, no, ask the question, Al, my dude. Ask the question. Absolutely ask the question. Gotham City is very retro-futuristic. Yes, it is. Wallace, my dude. Don't be like the smasher we deserve, be like the smasher we need. Smasher? It seems like they're throwing us off about who the next villain might be. I love it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Joker. I don't think it'll be Joker. I think that's something that they build to, maybe. They just keep teasing. Like, can you imagine Joker just constantly getting new roommates, not roommates, but, cell neighbours in Arkham Asylum, and he keeps talking to them, keeps winding them up, because he's like, oh, I've got a riddle for you, Riddler. Blah, 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 Oh, friends, yes, friend. I'm your friend, basically. It sounds like he's sort of recruiting, villains to work with him, doesn't it? I liked it. I like that a lot. The orphan kid reminded me a lot of Future Anarchy, Red Hoodie, in the beginning. Yeah, okay, yeah. Martin Vasquez says, after they slay the mob boss, Falcone, I totally forgot the Riddler was still in the movie. Not sure if it's because it didn't feel like the Riddler to me. There's something off. No, I think that was purposeful. Because you got to remember, even Batman forgot about that riddle. So this is the thing, because people are like, oh, the pacing's real bad because of, again, like your comment there. But even Batman in the film forgot about that riddle of bring the rat into the light. So no, I think that was actually purposeful. I think you are supposed to do that because in universe, the character in universe had already forgotten the riddle because so much other things had happened. So I think I think that was on purpose. I do think that was on purpose. Yeah. Kieran says, hi H, not seen the film yet, but in the trailer, Batman punches a reinforced visitation window and shouts something, probably at the Riddler. What is it he shouts? What have you done, he shouts. Maybe I'm misremembering. When Bruce was having breakfast, felt overly gothic. Maybe that's what they were going for. Not a big deal. I'm literally trying to find something I didn't like. But yes, but Gotham City is pretty gothic, or from what I remember it to be. In certain scenes it was, yeah. We talking architectural scrutinizing, it was fine. All of this is Americanized retro examination of Western European convention, depending on a couple of factors, but derivative. Yeah, I agree with that, yeah. Joker's face did look sort of burnt. Maybe Batman ran into Red Hood in year 1 and he jumped into toxic waste. So it actually looked like you could see his teeth through his cheek. It looked like he had a smile cut into his face. Like you could actually see his teeth. That's what it looked like. Because they wouldn't have given him the makeup effects. They wouldn't have given him makeup to put that on his face in Arkham Asylum. So how do you do it? Like you actually have the smile cut into his face so you can see teeth and stuff. That's what it looked like. I could be wrong, but it's what it looked like. Was it you that said one line you really didn't like? It's been a long day and I can't remember. If so, what was the line? No, I said there was 2 words that I didn't like. It took me out of the movie for like 10, 20 seconds and then it was fine. It's inconsequential. It really doesn't matter, in fairness. Nathan Waldron says, Mr. H, been a fan since the Predator Lord days. I love the horror aspect they gave Patman. Footsteps in the darkness. There was a real thud to his steps. There was a real, like a labouring to his steps. I really liked that. Really, really liked that. And then he appears with that stare and the imminent threat of violence. Yeah, wasn't it just? Also, ladies and gents, if you're enjoying the stream, can we just hit that thumbs up button a little bit, please? It'd be really good if we could get to 200 likes. If you can, would appreciate that, guys. It was really laboured. The steps, it was heavy. There was a lot of weight to it. The way Batman trailers were released, very little info leaked. That shows how making and maintaining mystery allows movies to be good. Yeah, I agree. But not necessarily that. Like, this film isn't. We knew what was going to happen in this film. Like, the trailer says what happens in the film. Like, we know what's going to happen. That wasn't why this film was good. The film is good because it delivers on the trailers. The trailers are a good representation of the movie. It actually has nothing to do with leaks. This movie is good simply because it delivers on the trailers. To me, I watched the trailers. I got amped from the trailers. I wanted a certain thing from the trailers in the movie. The movie delivered what I wanted from the trailers. It is actually that simple. To me, it is anyway. Al Humphrey says, right, so when Alfred opens the letter bomb, in this incarnation of the Batman, was Alfred in the SAS? Because if so, I find it a bit hard to believe he would just open it without feeling any suspicion. Yes, I agree with you. He doesn't reveal what he is. He says, in my days of something, and he was employed to protect Thomas Wayne. So I don't know. I don't know whether... I don't know whether he was in the SAS. He was in something. He was definitely in something, because he says, "Oh yeah, no, from my days of blah blah blah," when he does the cipher. So yeah, interesting. Was the drophead drugs a nod to Scarecrow's fear toxin? The little picture looked like the Scarecrow mask. Ah, I didn't see that. In fairness, I'll have to have a look again. Do you believe there was a woke subtext running through the film? I've heard people describe the character dynamics in the film as white man bad. No, I think that's an absolutely absurd and disingenuous take on the film. Massively disingenuous. Woke subtext of white man bad, because white people are overrepresented in Gotham City, therefore the rich and powerful are white. I mean, I'm confused. Like, the mental basically the mental gymnastics you have to come to get to that point is really quite vast. There is no woke subtext in this film. There's one line which is inconsequential to the entire film, doesn't serve any purpose, and it's so inconsequential and so left field, it pulls people out of the film because it's not established in the film at all. Right? It's not. Like, there's no reference to it anywhere in the film except for those two words which come out of one character's mouth, and it's very like, what are you saying that for? And the reason why you all have that reaction to that one line is like, why are you saying that? Is because the film doesn't make any reference of any of that stuff at all anywhere else. So people taking that and running with it is very strange. Like, I don't get it. So yeah, it wasn't woke, not at all. What's this? Tom Workin says, what do you think about the announced spin-off Penguin Arkham Asylum? I'm really looking Penguin. I'll be there watching that. Yeah, I'm excited for the Penguin spin-off. Who else is excited? Penguin spin-off? Watching Oswald Cobblepot's rise to power? Hell yes. I would love that. Ash Rail, I think, has become a YouTube channel member. Thank you so much. At level 1. Thank you so much, Ash Rail. If anyone else obviously wants to support the channel, super chats as well as memberships are open, and patrons in the description box. And also, by the way, my brand new PO box is open. It's linked in the description box if you want to check it out. If you can't see it, just refresh the page and you'll be able to see it. It was live today, but I haven't bothered to tell anyone, so this is the first time you're hearing. So, Al, I know you wanted to send something. There you go. The PO box is open, my dude. Yeah. Ty Barnes says, just noticed you put pictures up and the sign looks great. I'm probably late. Yeah. So we finally got the sign up, the Datsun sign. We've got Alien and Predator playing chess, and then we've got my 2 pieces of artwork up there as well. Yes, I did put them up. Yes, I put them up literally today, actually. JT Mitchie says, Mr. Age, late to the stream. Just got back from the Batman. I absolutely loved it, mate. If they can stick to this aesthetic and tone, then a Reeves trilogy could be the new standard. Yes, I'm feeling that. Martin Vasquez says, okay, Mr. H, what about before that with the whole ratalada part? I thought it was Spanish. To me, it meant frozen rat, which would be the pinging. So how did they get from that to falcon? No, so it was rat with wings. So they're like pigeon. But that's not how they got it. So it was la or le or something like that. And it was UR and L. And so that's how they found URL. So it was dodgy Spanish for a reason. So they sort of combined it together and got URL. I don't know my own Spanish either. So like I can't repeat it. You know, I watched it late last night. I'm a little bit tired from it. So, but it was all to do with the Spanish being wrong. And the Penguin corrected them and said, yeah, that's dumb Spanish. Do you not know Spanish? La or L. And then it was you are the. And so that's how they got it, basically. Something along those lines. Is this Gotham City as dark and gothic as Tim Burton's Gotham? Yeah, but it's not campy. Does that make sense? Like, it's not campy like that. So yes, it is kind of, but it's more, it's more BioShock than it is Tim Burton's Gotham. Does that make it? It's very retro futuristic, sort of Art Deco sort of look. Very, very realistic. Very realistic. Wallace Franks sent a thumbs up super sticker. Thank you so much, man. Ty Barnes says, no question, just supporting. Thank you. That's very kind. Very cool new setup, Mr. H. Thanks. Appreciate that. My whole theatre got the riddles before Batman did. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have got them. I don't know. I can't remember what my reaction was. How does this Penguin compare to Batman Returns and Gotham TV show? It's the best Penguin. To me, this is the best Penguin. Unequivocally the best Penguin. Yeah, really, really, really good Penguin. The fact that he just loves what he's doing as well. He has a really good time. And there was a reference to his penguin waddle in this. When he's tied up by Gordon and Batman, and he sort of waddles around. Yeah, I really liked it. Ash Rowe says, what really surprised me was how well Pattinson pulled off the physicality of Batman. Yeah, wasn't it just really, really, really good? I thought he nailed that. Really decent. Really, really decent, actually. Yeah, fantastic. Should Ra's al Ghul be in this universe? I don't know. I don't know whether that would. I don't know whether that would work or not. Apparently, there was a Court of Owls Easter egg as well, according to my friend who's just messaged. So the Court of Owls reference was on one of the cards to the Batman. It was an owl. Ooh, owls. So yeah, I like that. RJ McCready says, Midnight Sage didn't like it because he says too many bad whites. Despite Batman, the white hero saving the black mayor, how woke he let online ruin the film. Yeah, you're talking about Tom Connors there, I think. Yeah, I mean, I honestly do think you've got to do a fair level of... I'm not saying he does, but... You know, I think to justify like, oh, you know, too many bad white people. What? It's Gotham City. Like, when was Gotham City full of black people? Like, honestly, when was it? Like, it's never been full of black people. And all of the mob bosses have always been white. Like, I don't recall Batman the animated series. Very few black mob bosses. I mean, they're mob bosses. They're Italian based. Carmine Falcone. You know, Maroni, they're Italian. You know, but everyone's like, oh, too many white dudes. Like, what? What? What are we doing? Just like the film, just enjoy it. Like, just switch your brain off from this SJW woke nonsense. It's fine. I don't get it. Like, what are you doing? It's so weird. So weird. Mr. H, how tingly did you get during the first appearance scene of Pattinson in the train station? Hair stood up for me. I really loved that. That sequence was great. And I think what was so good about that sequence was even the guy he protected was afraid of him. Right? Even the guy that he protected was like, please don't hurt me. Really good. I really liked that. I thought that was great. Calling it woke is such an oversimplification of the dynamics of the story. Yeah, it is. Like, there's nothing woke about it. Nothing woke about it at all. But whatever. Who cares? The owls are not what they seem, yeah. Flexing Mecca. I love Italian tang. For fuck's sake. I'd give an ID poll rating wokeness scale of about 4. There was nothing woke in it. Like what you're talking about, inequalities. I mean, all cities have inequalities. But who was most affected by the inequality so much so that they went on a massive rampage? A white guy. So it wasn't like, oh, you know, whites versus blacks. Oh, the blacks are, you know, poor downtrodden. That's not the approach they went with it. Like if you're talking about it being woke, you'd think that the power dynamics that they had, you know, that they would have made the inequalities a race issue. They didn't. They could have. They didn't. They didn't at all. Yes, there are mob bosses. Yes, they are white. They're Italian. That's the mafia for you, right? Like, that's just what it is. That's Gotham City. That's, generally speaking, what they always are. and then, you know, they're power hungry and corrupt. I mean, yeah, sure. Like, what? Okay, but the person that went on a rampage is a white dude. Weird. I don't get it. Ripper McGee says the intro of the car was amazing. That, like, scream it made. The scream it made. Ah. That car was a character in and unto its own. It was so good. Yeah, it was so good. Really, really good. That's how you do the Batmobile. You make it a character. This whole argument falls apart when White Batman saves all of Gotham, including the Black Mayor. So Woke rolls eyes. Yeah, I agree. I do agree with you. People screaming Woke are mad that they race swapped Jim Gordon and Catwoman. Well, they didn't race Catwoman. You're like 60 years precedent for a black Catwoman. Like, what's the issue? You know, like uber Batman fans, like, you should be fine with that. And they got a really good actor to play Gordon, so I don't really see the issue there either. The white privilege line made them all really, really upset. It's a throwaway line. Batman still is a Caucasian hero saving black people. Hard to yell woke alert on this one. Yeah, I agree. So I agree. Like, the line, and again, the thing is, the line is so throwaway, it removes you from the film briefly because it's not referenced anywhere else in the film and it comes out really left field. That in and unto itself proves that the film isn't woke on that level because it's so fucking left field. You're like, what? And then you're like, whatever. And then you get back into the film. Ripper McGee says, yes, that scream. Honestly, that car chase scene was great. John Turturro did a great job as Carmine Falcone. Really, really good as Carmine Falcone. Really, really, really good. Loved it. Sean, in the old days, we had coat checkers. Theatres need a reality check kiosk. Yeah, get a ticket that says suspend reality. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I agree with that. That's funny. That is really, really funny. Yeah. Dear, oh dear. Very, very funny. Are you looking forward to the Penguin series, and do you think Rob Pat will be featured in it? So apparently it's to do with his rise to power. Is it his rise to power now? There's going to be a power grab? I thought it was pre-Gotham. Pre the Batman. So I don't really know, to be honest. I'll be keen to see where that goes. I'll be very, very keen to see where that goes. Donovan Bradford says, yeah, Eartha Kitt was in the Adam West to get over it. Yeah, I agree. I don't get it. Like, people are like, Adam West is the best Batman. Please do respect Adam West. It's like, okay, what? Respect Adam West Batman while shitting on Catwoman? Because I mean, I don't get it. Honestly, some of these complaints, there's a lot of mental gymnastics. Morning H saw Batman last night. Was absolutely blown away. Robert Pattinson is the definitive Batman for me now. I agree. I actually agree. Yeah, I do agree. I mean, to me, Batman the Animated Series is the definitive Batman. But I tell you what, this is the close second. That is the definitive Batmobile for me. I love that Batmobile. Fucking so good. Riddler's intro was sick. How he just appears in the background shadow. I know. After you see through his eyes what he's watching. You know, he's watching them and you hear his breath and his breathing and then he just appears and you're like, oh, this is going to go down. Yeah. And he just stands there. And he goes, boom. Absolutely goes mental. Yeah, real crazy. Bat's Riddler interrogation was great. Showed how similar they are. How Bat's vengeance inspired Riddler, and Bat's realizing in the end vengeance won't change City. Hope can was great. That was really good. That was a solid message. You talk about messages in movies, agendas, and the message. The message in this movie was hope rather than vengeance. That is literally the message. It was very good. Ty Barnes says, I think it's cool. They have great actors that fit regardless of colour. I agree. Like, I do agree, yeah. You know, the thing is it would make sense if they were, you know, it would make sense with the woke comments if they were referencing the race that they switched the characters to, right? But Jim Gordon doesn't reference the fact he's black in any way, shape or form. He's just Jim Gordon, and he's a great actor. Jeffrey Wright's a great actor in this. He works as James Gordon. He's very, very good. Mr. H, I'd love to hear you discuss with that sham of a script. I can't read that out. Sham of a script doctor on Midnight's Edge, Junior Edge channel, who likes to pretend like he writes Hollywood scripts whilst remaining completely anonymous. Convenient. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. I wouldn't know what to discuss with him. I mean, we're obviously at polar opposites, aren't we? So who knows? You know, I don't know. Like a lot of the stuff doesn't make sense to me. Like again, from a technical perspective, the film was expertly shot. This is one of Matt Reeves' greatest achievements, just from a technical perspective. Obviously, he's not the cinematographer, right? He would have been working with a cinematographer on this. But I tell you what, the cinematographer he's working with, he should hire on every single other film that he does. Because the cinematographer was amazing. The framing of this film is mind-blowingly good. Every single frame is a poster. When you can make any frame in a film a poster, you've nailed it. So good. Thumb drive, yeah, split finger. I really like that thumb. The thumb drive comment was hilarious, and it's so funny as well because you're like, oh yeah, thumb drive, and then Jim Gordon's like, this guy's hilarious. You're like, yeah, we're all thinking the same thing. They hang a lantern on it, but not in like a weird gaslighty way or in a way that makes you go, oh, you're doing this because it's dumb. They're doing it because like it's funny. Like everyone's thinking it. Like, oh yeah, of course he did that. Fucking thumb drive. You know, that was great. I really liked that. Really liked that. At DC, who was the Joker? Was an Asian actor, I think. He was Irish, mate. Barry Keoghan. The Joker was an Irish actor. Barry Keoghan, not Asian at all. You can hear he's Irish in the film. You know, he still has a bit of an Irish accent. I got a free comic at the Batman at the cinema last night. The Long Halloween #1, which is nice. Oh, yeah, someone else got one of them. I didn't get one of them. They weren't offering them at my cinema, which was a bit shit. I didn't like that. We got to 213 likes. Guys, if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do. That's really kind of you guys that have, though. Thank you. The Flash trailer sneak peek got the most praise and whoops. The Flash looks like dog shit. The Flash trailer only got whoops and cheers because it's got Michael Keaton in it. That's literally the only reason. Remove Michael Keaton. Who wants to watch Ezra Miller in a film for 2 hours? Oh, I hate Ezra Miller. He's a shit actor. He's awful. He's an awful human being as well. And he can't run. Why would you hire someone that can't run to play a superhero that runs? Why would you do that? That's so dumb. Wait, the Joker wasn't a trans activist. No. Splitfinger says, I also liked the fact Batman needs a diary. As for the Riddler and his diaries, felt like it was pulled directly from Seven. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a little bit. I like the fact that he's like, you know, and today I realise what I must become. Love that. Like, terrifying. The DP was Grieg, Fraser, Rogue One, June. That makes sense. Director of photography, yeah, same guy that did June. Yeah, that makes all the sense. Yeah. DC needs to stop trying to be Marvel. Self-promoting the DCEU at the end of the Batman is just cringe. Did they do that? I didn't see any of that on mine. Did they do the DCEU? Oh, that's a shame. They don't need to do that with the Batman. They just keep it as its own thing. Don't do anything like that. No, that's not good. Not good. The dynamic between Jim and Bats was just awesome. No guns. Hey man, that's your thing. I liked it. But I tell you what, so that line's really good, right? That line is really good. So yeah, I really like the fact that you've reminded me of that line, because that goes to show again how no line is wasted in this movie. So you talk about member berries in films a lot, right? You talk about little nods and subtle winks. That is a very smart way of telling you, the audience, no, Batman doesn't believe in guns, right? And that was done prior to them turning up and having the standoff with Catwoman, right, at the end of the film, where she's going to blow, the police officer's face off. and you know, and then he has that altercation with the gun and stuff like this. That sets up those scenes really nicely, and it also sets up his one rule. Hey man, that's your thing. You know, hey, no guns. Yeah, no man, that's your thing. It's really, really cleverly done. Like, that's dialogue that is not wasted. It's not pointless. It serves a great purpose. And it serves a great purpose just to set it up moving forwards for the next few scenes, which are really an emotional struggle between Batman and also Catwoman. You know, Catwoman, yeah, very, very smart. I'm glad that you reminded me of that, because that was really, really good. I really liked that. Yeah. The Riddler was the real hero. Definitely not. It wasn't, he wasn't. Sorry, Mr. H, that's what you get for moving away from Morden. Wimbledon Odeon would have given you the comic. Yeah, Wimbledon Odeon was good. I like that one. I went to an Empire theatre to watch the Batman. I watched it on IMAX though. That was really good. Really good on IMAX. And the sound was great. Batman going out of his way to save people was great. Agree. Yeah, very, very, very Batman. Miss H, I know you're a Clayface fan, but in this film verse, what villains would you like to see in the Bat trilogy? Court of Owls and Hush would be some good ones. Hush, Court of Owls. You could do. You know, they've spoke about Mr. Freeze. You could do Mr. Freeze. I think there's definitely a way to do it. I like it. Yeah. I think you could do it. I think you could do it. I don't know who else though. Like, we need to see a few more. You know, another movie just to see which direction they go, whether they go a little bit. Like, they've teased Bane now. They have teased Bane. Venom was in the movie. The substance that he injects himself with. So they could do Bane. You know? Why not? Maybe he won't be as big as, you know, he should be, but they could definitely do Bane. Midnight's Edge is too visible in regards to what really irks him. The difference between him and Mr. H, when intelligence has won, but H doesn't go into every film looking for it to wrong white folk. No, I mean, look, I'm not going to get into the. You're welcome to your opinion, obviously. Like, I'm not going to rebuke your. I'm not going to say you can't have your opinion in any way, shape, or form on individuals. However, just to clarify my own stance on films, because that's what you're bringing up into this, right? You know, I review promotional material different to a film. Right? Like, if promotional material is given to me and it's shit, I'm going to say this promotional material is shit. But then when I go watch the film, I don't go into it thinking this film's going to be shit based on the promotional material. I go into it with an open mind to see whether I like the film or not. So when I say, oh, this looks like crap, you know, this trailer's crap, oh, this could be crap. I mean, it could be, yeah, because the promotional material looks like garbage. But I will always watch a movie with open eyes, right? Like, if I like a movie, I like a movie. I'll just be open and honest. Like, I absolutely fucking shat all over Shazam. And there'll be loads of people that disagree with me here. Like, I get that. But I really like Shazam. I stand by some of the comments I made that the costume was dumb, didn't really fit in with DCEU universe, because it didn't. But it fit in with the tone of the movie they were establishing. It's still a dumbass costume. But I liked Shazam because it had a really nice, wholesome message, and it delivered it in a really nice way. But I was really wrong, and you know, in my review, I was like, yeah, I'm wrong. I was wrong about Shazam. I liked it. You know, I'm happy to hold my hands up and say, absolutely, I'm wrong when I am. You know, when I've been wrong on material, anyway. Tom Workin says DC Comics and Warner suffering fallout from Matrix Resurrections. DC Comics wouldn't be suffering any fallout from Matrix Resurrections, I don't think. Bane should be Cuban next time, if possible. Yeah. Omara says Mr. Freeze grounded would be epic with his backstory with his wife. So that's the way that you can do. That is the way you can do Mr. Freeze in a realistic fashion. You can do, him with this conviction because of his wife, and you could make it a really tragic story where it humanizes the character to a point where Batman's somewhat conflicted, not massively, somewhat conflicted. And I think that could really work. You also give a real, you give a big struggle for Batman. You could give a big internal struggle for the Batman in a fight scene where Mr. Freeze has got finally something to save his wife, but he's done it via this method, and he's got to. Batman either has to take it off him or allow him to commit crime and save his wife. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could add these these very, very high consequence moments in a Batman movie with Mr. Freeze, that would really work. It has the potential to really work. Anyway, I think that the Wayne's Arkham bit was lifted from the White Knight storyline. Also, the costume was inspired by that one, and the Batmobile in the White Knight is also sweet. I've not read the White Knight. Amen, buddy. Amen, preach it. But the promotional material for Batman was awesome. I agree. The promotional material was great. This, to me, is one of those really rare times where the promotional material lived up to the actual movie and also was an accurate representation of what the movie was. I was like, I just want it to be what the trailers are because it was great. So yeah. Mr. H, what did you think of Paul Dano's performance as Riddler? Mesmerizing. Actually, a mesmerizing performance. Like, that's a performance that you look at and you go, wow, who's that actor? Like, what's he been in? Because I don't recognize him. That's the same guy that was in Looper, being hacked up by his future self. Or, his future self being hacked up when he was in his past self. Like, it didn't look like him, does it? Like, you wouldn't put the two and two together. And the thing is he embodies the role in and out of the costume. So when he's out of the costume, he's a sort of meek self with the cops. It's like, oh, I just ordered a pumpkin pie. But when he's in the cell, he's still himself. Like, he's still the Riddler. But in that costume, wow. It's the voice that gets me. Paul Dano did such a stellar job on the voice. The voice was amazing. I don't think Two-Face could appear in the sequel because you've already got rid of one district attorney in Gotham in this movie. You couldn't do another district attorney, becoming Two-Face. It wouldn't make too much sense. It would be a bit much, I think. Third act fight scene straight out of Arkham. Uses smoke, crashes through glass, takedown, grapple gun, hand to hand, uses opponent's weapons against them. That final fight was great. And everyone going, oh, it's a January 6th reference. No, it's not. All of that, again, I'll say it again because people missed it and we've got new people here. In the next scene, when that big ultimate ending is done and we hear the narration from Batman again, he literally says, November 6th. Now, I know some of you don't know your history of other countries, but in the UK, the 5th of November was when Guy Fawkes and a bunch of other people planned to blow up the Houses of Parliament with government in it. They planned to take down the government on November 5th. So what this film really cleverly did was have Riddler referencing Guy Fawkes and November 5th, because his plan was literally to overturn Gotham's government, make it completely, governless on November 5th. Really, really clever. And this is what I mean. That's gone way over loads of people's heads. They've just gone, whatever, it's January 6th. Oh, fuck off. You absolute mong. Like, read a history book, for God's sake. That was really smart. And that was a really, really smart reference. Loved it. Paul Dano crying reminded me of his crying in Cowboys and Alien. I've not watched Cowboys and Aliens, to be fair. But yeah. I think that the Wayne's Arkham... Oh yeah, I read that one already. I'm glad for Dano. He was awesome in a one-man show in that movie where he's trapped on a desert island with Daniel Radcliffe's corpse. I wanted him to be a star from then. He's a really good actor. You think this could be up for an Oscar? I know the movies that come out around this time are usually throwaways. This movie's definitely not a throwaway. This movie's great. I will be buying this movie. And like I said, if anyone wants to send me a Batmobile to my PO box, it's in the description box. I would gladly accept. I've got the Hot Wheels Batmobile up there. Send me a big Batmobile toy. Thank you very much. I would love that. It'll go on my shelf right here. Or right here on my desk. Yeah, so good. The ending gave me New Zealand Christchurch vibes minus the racial religion motives. It was scarily timely. Again, November 5th. It is, and also he's looking to overturn government. It is literally government reference. It is a Guy Fawkes reference. It is. What are your other anticipated movies for 2022? Yeah, interest. So I will be looking forward to The Northman. I'm looking forward to that, actually. I think that'll be really good. Watch Paul Dano in There Will Be Blood if you didn't yet. Incredible. Next to Daniel Day-Lewis, that is. Yeah. People are desperate for this film to be worse than Avengers 9 or Ant-Man 12. This film epitomizes authorship. MCU fanboys hate that because they can't ever have it. I don't have a Subaru. Mate, I sold that like 2 years ago. I don't have that anymore. Yeah, that's been gone a long time. Tattoo Jedi says, "Hey dude, holy shit, this movie was perfect. Do you think Joker would be better saved for a third movie though, instead of trying to push him into the sequel just because he's the Joker? Man bat anyone?" Yeah, so I don't think Joker's going to be in the sequel. I think they'll just keep teasing him and build to it. I don't think he's going to be in the sequel. I think he'll physically be in the sequel, but I don't think he will be the focus of the sequel. Yeah, Man-Bat would be good. Yeah, I think building to the Joker is what they seem to be doing. I think. So yeah, I like it. I think that's what they should do. Gavin Hall says, "Hey mistakes, just got back from seeing the Batman. Loved every second. It was epic, and oh my god, that car chase. The car chase was so good. I love the car chase. I can't get over the car chase. The car chase was epic. It's one of the best car chases I've seen on film for a really long time. Really, really long, like a long time. I've not seen a car chase like that for a while. I really enjoyed that car chase. It was great. It just did this film did everything I wanted it to do. You wouldn't be able to do body horror Clayface or anything like that, sadly, in this film. You just wouldn't be able to do that, which I think is a bit of a shame. Ty Barnes says, "Is that the one with Alexander Skarsgård? The Northman?" Yes. That looks great. That film looks banging. It looks real, real good. Dave the Impaler says, "Do you believe the sequel could or should be a villain gauntlet like the Long Halloween?" I think I like the detective work that they had. In this film, I think having more detective stuff could work really well. But I don't see you could do that with anyone. To be fair, it doesn't have to be. A bit off topic, but did you see the news of a new Alien film in the works? There isn't a new Alien film in the works. I can guarantee that. That'll be fake news. There is a series in the works. There's no film. Where did you see that? Because I bet you that would not be correct news. Yeah, I mean, there's no Alien movie in the works. There's a series in the works, but that's not new. That's quite old news, man. That's been going for a little while. I've done a lot of videos on that. Where did you see that there's a movie in the works? Let me guess. We got this covered. Discussing, I don't know, something. There's no movie in the works. I can promise you that. Yeah, definitely not. So yeah, I mean, I guess just to round out Hollywood Reporter. Let me have a look. Let's have a look. News. When? Oh no, you're right. Yeah, new Alien movie in the works with Don't Breathe filmmaker Fede Alvarez. Let's have a look. To write and direct an original Alien feature for 20th Studios. No, you are right. This is left field as hell. I stand corrected, good sir. I do apologise. What the hell is this? Wow. I don't think he's a good fit, though. It's not a film that has to be all things to all people with those gargantuan budgets. They get to be authentically what they are. And this is closer to its genre roots. Basically, what about the project? Is this for Hulu? Purely off the strength of his pitch. Blah, blah, blah. Good story, characters you haven't seen before. It looks like a movie for Hulu. Oh, it sounds like garbage then. For fuck's sake, stop doing these movies for fucking Hulu. Oh my god. Yeah, Don't Breathe is good, but I don't know if that's oh my god. I'm gonna have to go and do a video on that now, aren't I? Oh dear. Anyway, cheers for letting me know. I didn't realise that at all, so I stand corrected. I hold my hands up, completely stand corrected. That's really left field. I don't know whether I like that news. I don't know. Let me absorb it. You're telling me this on a on a Batman stream. Yeah, I don't know. That's really left field. But for fucking Hulu, I'm so sick of them going to Hulu. Right. Anyway, you completely derailed my stream now. FYI. Not in like a bad way. I do. Thank you for letting me know. Miss H, thoughts on the scene in the end where Selena... oh my god. I'm not saying that out loud, you fucker. You almost got me there as well. What do I think about the new Nissan Z? I like the new Nissan Z. It's grown on me a lot. I do actually like it a lot. Right. So, we will round out this stream now. I need to go and have a look at this bloody news and do another video on it. So, yeah, apparently there is a new Alien movie in the works. So I'm going to go and absorb that and make a video. I hope you enjoyed this stream. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new here. Whatever. All that good stuff. If you're not getting notifications, by the way, guys, if you're not getting notified of streams, because I do streams actually really regularly. And if you enjoyed this one, I stream 3 days a week. So, but please do head on over to my Twitter, at Mr. H Reviews on Twitter, because I share my streams out there and I share the videos out there. So it is kind of important that you head on over to those things. It'd be good, it'd be good to have you guys over there and just, being notified a little bit more, because YouTube, it's not the best for notifying people at the moment. But anyway, guys, that's it. Not much else to talk about. I think we've covered the Batman. Loads of questions come through. It's good. Yeah, this was a good stream. Really, really good. Thank you all for joining me. Rarely do sort of film discussion streams because, I normally do it a bit earlier than anyone else, and anyone else is like, oh, watch the movie. And like, for goodness sake. Anyway, loved it. This was good. Thanks so much, ladies and gents. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.